Have you ever felt super stressed? Maybe before a big test, or when you have too much work to do. Your brain feels busy, your hands might feel fidgety. This is where stress toys come in. They are small, squishy friends for your hands. People use them to help calm down. Squeezing something soft can make you feel better. It gives your hands something to do. This simple action can help your brain focus. It's a way to let out that extra energy without even thinking about it. They are simple, but they are very helpful tools for our busy minds. Stress toys come in all shapes and sizes. You can find squishy balls that look like planets. There are long, stretchy noodles that you can pull and twist. Some are shaped like cute animals like cats or pandas. Others are filled with tiny beads or glittery slime. The reason we love them is simple. When we feel anxious, our bodies get tense. Squeezing a toy helps to release that tension. It's like a mini workout for your hand muscles. The repeated motion of squeezing and releasing is very soothing. It's a quiet, personal way to manage big feelings. These toys are not just for stress, though. They are also super fun to play with. They help with something called sensory input. That's a fancy way of saying they give our senses something interesting to feel. The smooth texture, the soft squish, and the way they change shape in your hand is satisfying. For kids and adults, this can help improve focus. Instead of tapping a pen or shaking your leg, you can quietly stretch a toy. It's a secret weapon for staying calm and concentrated. So they are more than just toys. They are tools for our well-being. So why are we talking so much about these squishy gadgets? Because they are designed to be tough. They are made to be squeezed, pulled and twisted over and over again. They are built to handle our everyday stress. But what happens when you push them past their limit? What is the absolute maximum they can handle? That's a fun question. It mixes science with a little bit of playful destruction. We are going to explore the secret life of stress toys and find out just how much stretching they can truly take before they give up. It's time for an experiment. Let me introduce you to my friend Dave. Dave loves engineering and he loves stress toys. He has a huge collection of them on his desk. One day he had a brilliant idea. He looked at his favorite stretchy banana toy and wondered, how far can this thing actually stretch? He wasn't thinking about just a small pull. He wanted to find its absolute breaking point. This idea sparked a whole project. He decided he would become a stress toy scientist for a day. His mission was to test different kinds of stress toys and see which one was the strongest. He wanted to see what happens at the very edge of their stretchiness. So, Dave set up his workspace for the big experiment. He cleared his big garage table. He gathered all his equipment. He had a measuring tape to see how long the toys could get. He had a super strong clamp to hold one end of the toy down. This was important so it wouldn't just fly away. He also set up a high-speed camera. This camera could capture every tiny detail of the stretch and the final snap. He wanted to see the exact moment the toy gives up, slowed down so we could all see the science in action. He was ready to turn his simple curiosity into a real scientific test. The first toy up was a classic, a long, rubbery, stretchy noodle. It was bright blue and very flexible. Dave was excited to start. He carefully placed one end of the noodle into the clamp and tightened it. It was held firmly in place. The other end he held in his hand. He put on safety glasses, which is always a good idea when you are breaking things for science. He wanted this to be a fair test. He would pull slowly and steadily. He wasn't just going to yank it, he wanted to measure the stretch precisely before it broke. The stage was set for the first test. Before he started pulling, Dave took some before measurements. The blue noodle was about 12 inches long. It was soft and wiggly. He made some predictions. He guessed it could probably stretch to 5 times its original length. That would be 60 inches or 5 feet. Would it make it that far, or would it snap sooner? This is the fun part of any experiment. You make a guess, which scientists call a hypothesis. Then you do the test to see if you are right. Dave was ready to pull and find out the truth about the stretchy noodle. Dave took a deep breath and began to pull the blue noodle. He pulled slowly and steadily. The first few feet were easy. The noodle stretched without much effort. He looked at the measuring tape on the table. 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet. The blue rubber became thinner and thinner. The bright blue colour started to look lighter, almost see-through in the middle where it was stretched the most. It felt very tight in his hand, like a giant, tense rubber band. He could feel the energy building up inside the material. It was amazing to see how much it could change from its original shape. He kept pulling. 4 feet, 5 feet. He had reached his original guess. But the noodle was still holding on. It was incredible. The material was now stretched so thin in the center that it looked like a piece of thread. It was almost transparent. Dave could feel the toy fighting back. The resistance was much stronger now. Every inch he pulled took more and more strength. The surface of the noodle, which was once smooth, now looked a little rough and stressed. It was clear the toy was near its end. He knew it was going to snap any second, but he had to keep going to find its true limit. Next up was a squishy frog filled with tiny water beads. This one was different. It wasn't just about stretching the outer skin. It was also about what would happen to the stuff inside. Dave clamped the frog's leg and started to pull the other leg. The frog's body began to get very long and strange looking. The green skin stretched out, and you could see all the little beads inside being pulled apart. The frog's happy face was now a long, distorted mask. It looked like a surreal piece of art. The feeling was different too. It wasn't just tight, it was also squishy and lumpy as the beads moved around inside. Dave pulled the frog even further. The green rubber skin became so thin that the little blue beads inside started to bulge out. It looked like the frog had goosebumps all over its stretched body. He pulled another inch. Suddenly, a tiny hole appeared. It was small at first, but the pressure was too much. The material was at its breaking point. This was the moment he was waiting for. The frog couldn't take any more pulling. The tension had reached its peak, and the structure of the toy was about to fail in a spectacular way. The final moment was coming. And then it happened. Snap! The blue noodle broke. The break happened right in the middle, where it was the thinnest. For a split second, the two broken ends curled up like tiny whips. The high-speed camera caught it all. You could see the stored energy release in an instant. The two halves of the noodle flew back towards their ends, hitting the clamp and Dave's hand with a soft thwack. It was so fast that you would miss it with your own eyes. Looking at the broken ends, you could see the rubber had a clean, sharp tear. It showed exactly where the material was weakest under all that pressure. The frog's end was much messier, but way more fun. When the tiny hole in its skin finally gave way, it didn't just snap. It exploded. Pop! A shower of tiny, slippery water beads burst out. They flew everywhere, bouncing all over the table and the floor. It was a colourful, chaotic explosion of squishy fun. The green rubber skin ripped open and the rest of the beads oozed out like slow-motion slime. The high-speed camera showed the skin tearing and the beads launching out like confetti. It was a beautiful mess, all in the name of science and curiosity. So what did we learn from all this? We learned that even simple toys are feats of engineering. They are made from polymers, which are long chains of molecules that can stretch and slide past each other. When you stretch a toy, you are pulling these chains apart. They can go far, but they have a limit. When they break, you are seeing the exact point where those molecular bonds can no longer hold on. We also learned that different toys break in different ways. Some snap cleanly, while others, especially those with fillings, can create an amazing, messy explosion. This whole experiment started with a simple question: what if? That question is the start of all discovery. Breaking things isn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's about understanding how they work. By pushing something to its limit, you learn its strengths and weaknesses. You learn about materials and physics in a hands-on way. So next time you feel curious, don't be afraid to experiment. Take something apart. See how it works. Ask questions. You might just learn something amazing about the everyday world around you, even from something as simple as a squishy frog.